Welcome to the Weekend Chats with Joanna Ruth and Xanthia Chilio.
Join the Millennial Force WhatsApp community via our website and wait for the Zoom link.
Join us on Zoom and be part of the conversation.
Healing into harmony, feeling and community, made for you, of course, by Millennial Force.
We're live on YouTube,
Oh,
and the YouTube is swapping. Whoever's talking
yeah,
is on the video, which is pretty good. I like that. Yeah?
that's awesome. Yeah, cool. I didn't realize we were streaming on YouTube as well. Perfect. Getting technology aligned.
Yeah.
Great.
Hello, everybody on YouTube. So I doubt many people are watching, but it would be fun if people turned up. So what we're actually doing is not looking at any of the comments. We're not doing that. We
No.
are having our weekend chat, and we're
Yeah.
doing it live because we've decided that everything now is pretty much just going to be live streamed because we want to give everyone insight into how we do what we do and
Correct.
everything. We don't want to spend time. We don't want to spend time editing. So we're happy
Yeah.
for you just to see all sorts of things. We're doing it via Zoom. So if we do have to take a little break or something, we can turn off our camera and turn off our audio, and then come back in.
Yeah. And just
What else do
full
we need to tell
transparency.
you?
I think that
Yeah.
as we move into an age where it's going to be about AI and fake videos and stuff, knowing that we're here, we're not putting on any faces, we don't wear any makeup. Not that if you do, you're
Nothing.
fake, but like
Pimples.
it's just full accountability and transparency. That's what we're living in, and we want to be an example to you that we're listening, we're
Yeah.
here, and shoot through. You know, we might not be able to keep them, but we are aggregating this data so topics can be brought up to the next weekend chat. And we also would love if you could subscribe. We need I think about 50 subscribers on YouTube to be able to go live on our phones. So that's just, and
Oh,
also
yeah.
on Instagram, we need some subscribers on there too. So give us some love. If you're enjoying this content, we need some numbers for those big platforms.
So if you want us to go live in other ways, not just sitting in
Yeah.
our, Zoom studios,
Mhm.
then please do subscribe. Doesn't cost you a thing.
Yeah.
If you like watching it live, I mean, all the videos will still be listed under our live tab. Um,
Mhm.
Very
Mhm.
unlikely that we would delete anything. So
Mhm.
you can always watch afterwards. But if you do like watching things live, then click the notification bell because it will bring it up
Yeah.
on your algorithm better.
Mhm.
If you want other people to be introduced to the live, then like it and maybe comment on it, say hi, where you're from, and that
Yeah.
will trigger the algorithm to give it as an option for other people.
Mhm. Mhm.
So that's how YouTube works. And
Mhm.
we also have WhatsApp community via
Yeah.
our website, which is in the making currently, but I'll
Mhm.
mention it anyways, millennialforce.co, C-O on the end.
Yeah.
Um, and you should be able to see it on our backgrounds, how you spell Millennial Force.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
and if you want to come into the WhatsApp community, you're more than welcome, especially for the announcements and the giving
I'll
questions. If there's something that you want to pose as a question, we
Yeah.
can certainly put on the list for weekend
Yeah.
chats. I think that's pretty much all the info that anyone
Yeah, and
needs.
I'll put the link in the description of this live as well, so it's an easy click for you to get to
Yeah,
us.
that's cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay,
Mhm.
so today's topics. So
Yeah.
the context of today's is on Sunday, we actually did do a weekend chat.
Like 2 hours?
But guess what happened? Like for 2 hours. Guess what happened? I forgot to press record. And this is another reason why we're going live, is
Hmm.
because we don't want to fall into the human trap of I'm tired and I forget to press record, and then afterwards I have to upload it to YouTube. Then Xanthia
Yeah.
in another country downloads it and chops it up and takes out all this and edits. And we don't have time for that because we have a lot of other stuff that we're creating for the community. So we just decided, let's work out how to live
Yeah.
stream via Zoom. So that's what we're doing,
Mhm.
unedited. So what we did come out with was a transcript that we put through AI to get the major themes from, and we
Yeah.
have 5 of them. So we
Yeah.
have the black sheep experience, is what we
Yeah.
talked about.
Mhm.
Unconscious contracts is a
Mhm.
really important thing. I think we're going to talk about that first. And then we
Yeah.
have the human mind versus the cosmic mind, and that's really
We
just
repeat.
we can explain
Yeah.
that. We talk about that a lot.
Yes.
Healing through challenge and practice, the whole
Mhm.
walking the talk, not just
Yeah.
collecting spiritual knowledge, we also talked about, and the purpose of Millennial Force. So maybe we can start with the purpose of Millennial Force and then
Mhm.
move into the unconscious contracts, which Xanthia started to talk about when we were on
Yeah.
WhatsApp. And I said,
Yeah.
let's move on to Zoom so that we don't miss a
Let's go
beat.
live.
Because we
This is
both
going to
we're
happen a
both
lot.
in yeah, we're both in well, you have soul contracts as well, but we'll
Mhm.
come back to that. Let's just go through
Yeah.
the purpose of Millennial Force. Sorry, I'm
Yeah.
playing with stuff. I'm just what I
Yes.
do. Hair, it
And
stops me playing with my hair, actually. Good.
yeah.
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 So,
I
I'm
feel like
becoming mindful of this the space that I'm giving to people. Yeah.
yes, exactly. And I believe that dot point came on the back of actually the Black Sheep chat because we started to
Okay.
realize the purpose of Millennial Force is to be that bridge between people who just don't feel like they fit into mainstream society. They have
Mm.
this a bit of like uh I use the word radical or they just feel
Mm.
things. They have this
They're
quest.
radically different. They're
Yes,
radically
yes,
different to everyone
yes.
else.
And we're
Yes.
calling black sheep, white sheep. Even that is a bit dualistic. But you know what? We're trying to use the stereotype of that feeling of not
Mm.
being able to connect with the others around you. So I think Millennial
Mm.
Force is starting to be a bit more of a place that you can feel seen and heard and comfortable and no longer
Mm.
black because we're
And
all black here.
that's right. I will share that I
Yes.
went through a period of my exploratory life. So I went through a couple of different purposeful journeys because I was delayed in my life experiences because of my childhood trauma and avoiding things and being in different kinds of relationships. So I avoided men for a really long time, and I decided I will go through a man journey period of time where I just stopped judging the length of time between experiences so that I could make it happen really quickly. And yes, it was emotionally challenging because every of the time thing, everything was happening really quickly. But I had to, get onto it and keep up with everything and do all my learning. So I finished off that learning. And from that learning experience, I understood, oh, perhaps I should go on a nudity learning experience because,
Okay.
it makes you understand what the body's all about, right? What
Yeah.
do you think about your
Yeah.
body
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
as opposed to yourself as body, yourself as mind, yourself as soul? And
Yeah.
so I went to different like nudist
Oh,
places
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
because I have a camper van and I'm traveling around in my camper van. I didn't have a dog back then, so I could go wherever I wanted to go.
Yeah.
And I booked into, nudist places. And so
Mhm.
you got to, when in Rome, you got to do what the Romans do. And so you get there and they show you around and they say, well, this is how we do things here. You have a sarong, you just sit on, etc., etc. And this is what you do. So I just did it because everyone's doing
Yeah.
it. And what I
Yeah.
found and had an really interesting conversation with one of the men who ran one of the places, I found that after the first look up and down and they've walked away and you've seen the saggy buttocks and the
All of
penises and
it.
the boobs
Yeah.
and whatever, you end up just looking at people's faces.
Mm-hmm. I
Because
had,
you can
yeah,
see that they can see you, but you don't have, there's no
yeah,
mirrors. So
yeah.
you're what looking at their body, but that lasts like
Exactly.
this amount of time, and then you're all just there. And
You're
you're
not,
not
it's not
looking at each
taboo.
other's bodies.
No, no, exactly. I
It
had a similar
takes it
experience
takes it
with,
out of a whole different
yeah.
context.
Because in Eastern Europe, when I was living in Germany, it's common. This is like they grow up in nude in at the lake. Everyone's nude. It's not even a sep. Oh no, there are separate call it like little villages now, but like you'd go to the lake and this everyone's nude. So I'm agreeing with you. When you overcome that barrier, thinking that it's weird, you become, way more open to bodies. Like it's not a big issue. Oh no. Joe, are you frozen? Mm.
Are you back?
Yes, are you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay, cool.
So, I don't know what happened, but it happened.
It
Well, I
happened.
have no idea what will go with the live, whether we had a break in your video stuff, but anyway.
I don't know
So,
either.
what
But
were you
just
saying
relating to
about?
just relating to your nudist story because I had a
Yeah.
similar experience in Eastern Europe where it's completely common to do that and
Hmm.
it was liberating, really liberating. Yeah.
Yeah.
To do
And so
that.
it does teach you
Mm.
about your concept of you, like who are you? If you can,
Hmm.
if you think that you are your body, and you
Yeah.
can be in that environment and actually just note that's the body, but the person is through their eyes. Are you your
Mm.
body? Or
Mm.
do you, whatever you concept is, do you have a body?
Wow. Yeah, the
Yeah.
soul.
And so
Yeah.
if you, yeah, if you reflect, why is it liberating? Because it changes your perception of who you are.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
not about
So
clothes, how I present. It's
right.
just
So like when I study Kabbalah, often the writers will talk about your body is your garment.
mm-hmm,
You're
mm-hmm,
just wearing your body. And
mm-hmm,
and I've also come to um in my evolution of perception and perspective changing, um, I have come to understand that my mind is also a garment. The human
mm,
mind is also a garment.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
The cosmic mind is not, because no matter what, I can't change it. So I can change my physical body. I can have agency to change. I can eat less, I can eat more, and
Mm-hmm.
do that all the time. Um,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so that changes. Stress, hormone changes can alter
Dye
the
your
physical
hair.
body. You can
Yeah.
cut your hair, you can dye your hair, you can change your physical body.
Yeah.
Um, you can't get rid of it because it's integral to containing your brain, which allows for your human mind and cosmic
Receiving.
mind to
Yeah.
be here on the planet. So you can't take it away because that takes away the machine that surges with life force.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
With the human mind, which is generally processed through the left hemisphere, the
Mm-hmm.
human
Mm-hmm.
aspect of the mind, that can also be changed because we can change our understanding of our identity. We can change
Yeah.
our perceptions.
The
So that's
box.
alterable as well.
Mm-hmm.
And we can use our conscious will to
Mm-hmm.
point at things that we've come to understand. And
Mm-hmm.
through the cosmic truth, we can alter things. So if you've
Yeah.
had a trauma in your childhood and it's
Yes.
stuck around and it's not helpful to you, and we find out what it is and we point at it and go, there
Yeah.
you are. And then we see the lie, comparing it to the cosmic truth, we see that it's not a truth, it's a lie. It was convenient and necessary at the time, but still a lie.
And this works into the contract discussion. This is what
Right.
blew my mind. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So it's exactly right. So
Mhm.
speaking about, continuing what I was saying is you can discover that you have a contract that is an illegitimate contract, and we'll come back to how I perceive that contracts can be illegitimate. And but the one thing that I've not been able to change is my cosmic mind, because it doesn't belong to me in isolation. It's a collective.
So would you say that we all pick up on the same cosmic mind? Like in terms
If
of,
you don't have any illegitimate contracts or frequency magnets in your
yeah,
human mind, which is also I see as a garment,
yeah,
invisible, of course.
this is the ego, like that.
Yeah, you're not going to be distracting from the very quiet yet constant flow of information and energy, which is
Mhm.
truth and love, right?
Mhm.
Information and
Mhm.
energy.
Mhm.
The
Mhm.
information travels on waves, energetic waves.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the truth is the information, and the
Okay.
love is the waves.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Like a low below me.
Hi, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
little bit. So,
Yeah.
so in terms of understanding yourself and the parts of yourself, it's really
Mhm.
important to understand which bit is you more than any other
Mhm.
bit. And the way that I figured that out for myself is I tested what's alterable. What can I
Mm.
take away? So I started actually with physical things and habits. At the beginning of my journey, like nearly 20 years ago, I started with, I don't know what's me. I've attached emotionally to all this stuff. And so I have to work out how to be without the stuff. And
Yeah.
the next stage was I have to work out how to not own the stuff and
Yeah.
not just not have it. So I put it in storage first, then I brought it
Yeah.
back in, and then I was told you have to get rid of it. And then I went overseas studying in Hawaii, and I had nothing to come back to. I had the smallest storage unit of items that I knew I would have to buy again. And I
Yeah.
moved into the apartment that you're in at the moment, that I'm coming back to in a month, with
Mhm.
just like I had no bed. I had no, like, I just had the basic things to do things in the kitchen.
Mhm.
I had, I had just the real basic stuff,
Yeah.
like a broom and
Uh,
a step ladder and
and
one
then you
chair.
slowly brought things back
And
in.
slowly, I've only bought what I needed, what was
Yeah.
functional. And
Yeah.
then I learned later on that
Mm.
beauty is also functional.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That
So that so yeah,
is
so I mean
something.
you guys can't see it
Yeah.
because we've got backgrounds on. My background is to hide the fact that I'm in a room that's like a
There is no
boring
beauty. Yeah.
bedroom with nothing on the walls. And
Yeah.
where are you? You're in the lounge room.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a
So
beautiful
on the
big
wall,
picture.
there's a big picture, there's paintings on the art
No
wall.
TV.
No
It's perfect.
TV. Yeah, we've got a little exercise space, a little health
Yes.
space, a little lounge
Yes.
space, and
Little
Xanthia's got her
sauna.
desk in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great. Mm.
And so yeah, it was a huge process for me. And so it started with things in my outside world, but then because I had an understanding of how to do these tests to figure things out for myself,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I'm not a follower. I've never been a follower.
But
I've
that's a
tried
black sheep.
I look like I look like I'm following, but I'm not following.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and
If
I've
the
had
crowd's
many,
going
many
that way,
teachers.
you
Yeah,
won't
I've
go.
had many, many teachers who don't understand that I won't
Mm.
be sticking around. I'll
Mm-hmm.
be in and I'll be all in
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
until I've got everything that I need.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I will be told, the cosmic truth comes and says, I know you're attached emotionally because these people have been like your family for 6 months or 2 years or whatever, but there's more for you over there. So you have to
Yeah.
pull yourself out now.
Yeah,
And so,
yeah.
yeah, so I've been led into, through, and out of multiple communities over the last 20 years. And I would cry because I would get attached, but I
Yeah, of
would
course.
only do what I'm told to do because I promised that in the beginning. And I promised it to the something that I didn't know what it was yet, but it felt like an enormous version of me that I can't break the promise to.
So
So
if you
that
bring
was
it
at my
back to the
breaking
black
point.
sheep analogy, it's like you on your inside, on your cosmic mind, you can't deny that part of you, but you can,
Mm.
try to
Not so
mask.
far.
Yeah,
Not so far.
you can try to perform, you try to hide from the fact that you are, getting insights, you are getting messages from the cosmic.
Oh, all my life, I have gone into these states of reverie
Yeah.
where I didn't like my life. I didn't understand life out there. I felt very alone and separated from like my heart, what was
Yeah,
my
I know that
heart.
feeling. Yeah.
And so I stayed, I would find people that I could connect to, go have coffee in the same place and build those
Mhm.
relationships. And I knew they were temporary because they're in a coffee shop.
Yeah.
But I would also spend a lot of time on my own.
Mm,
And I would just be lying in bed for hours and hours dreaming about nothing in
yeah.
particular. And
Yeah.
I would go into this state of reverie and I would have future scenarios just land in my thoughts
Mm,
randomly. Like I wasn't thinking about that person or those people or that
yeah.
future. And it would
Yeah.
just boop, just land
Hmm.
like the stories get sent to me and they just land like a basketball. And I'm like, oh, what do I
Hmm.
do with that? And then I go put it into a Google Doc until I've got
Yeah, yeah,
time to
yeah.
sit down and go, now what was that about?
So that's the opposite of
Um,
writer's block.
yeah, it's too much.
You got-
Yeah, yeah, we're coming up to the time of year where like last year, Lionsgate, my novels started dropping in like that. And I had
Mm,
no idea. I'd never written stories before, never written fiction before. And I was given these stories I didn't understand. They all seemed like different stories. And then I was given one of them that kept going. And it just had this
mm,
flow to it. So it got to about 10,000 words when
mm,
I realized one of my characters in that story needed to tell that other story that I wrote over there. And so I'd already written that bit. And then I brought that story inside
mm,
this one
yeah,
as one of the
yeah,
characters retold that story. And then I understood, and I'm just
mm,
like, oh, wow, you're so brilliant. I get it
yeah,
now. You've given me all
yeah,
these pieces, and now I'm putting them all together. Um, and yeah, so we're coming up to Lionsgate again now, the
about
8th
a
of
month away.
July. So
Yeah,
we're about
yeah.
3 weeks away. So I'm setting myself up to be uh, like completely running on my own steam, like in my own
Mm,
energetic environment
mhm,
and not be in someone
mhm.
else's home. And hopefully I'll be fired up and do lots and lots of channeled writing. Whatever's going to come will come.
I would say so. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna.
So yeah, I spent a lot of my life denying knowing future things,
Yeah,
denying being an empath,
yeah,
denying like
yeah. That's
I learned
real.
as a child to feel around the corners because my father was a volcano waiting to erupt
Yeah.
and I
Yes.
only had him as a parent, so I had to learn
You
how to
sensed it.
not make him erupt
Yes.
and not
Yes.
have him erupt on me.
I actually
Yeah.
think the empath piece is really the defining factor for black sheeps or for people who would be
Yeah,
resonating
maybe.
with this work because you're obviously feeling like there's more going on. I don't know how asleep you have
Yeah.
to be if
Mm.
you aren't feeling what the energy is going on. Certain,
Well,
like
there's
this,
certainly a pressure. Don't you think that there's a pressure like
mm, building for
to
sure.
not know what you know, like to not know in advance
Well, the
and to
opposition
like
gets bigger because then you
mm,
start when
yeah,
you start expressing yourself, um, yeah, you still get criticism and you have to overcome
yeah.
bigger things. Yeah. So
Yeah, so it's sort of like I always wondered why my siblings didn't yearn for more freedom.
mm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
like I felt more confined than they
Yeah.
looked like they were being.
Yeah.
And it came to
Um,
understanding that took a long time to understand they're just made differently to me. They
yes.
really are
Yeah.
made different.
You come
Um,
full circle where you're
yeah,
just like,
and
that's,
I
yeah.
appreciate they're different than me, but they don't appreciate that I'm different from them
Yes.
because
Yes.
you can't understand what you are not.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Because they
And so
project.
that's a really important part of Millennial Force because
Hmm.
we've got two black sheep
Hmm.
aligning together to create community based on this new, really solid, cosmically aligned foundation.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
we are going to, like attracts like, it
Yeah.
just does. When people say opposites attract, that's for learning purposes. But like
Mm.
attracts like. Yeah, once
Mm.
you've done your learning, like attracts like. And
Way
we've
more
had that
beautiful.
experience. Right. So you needed to attract all the people who were not like you to do all your
Yeah.
learning, but you attracted someone who is inherently like you to
Hmm.
help you do your healing.
Correct. Yes, that's
Yeah.
exactly right. And because by that contrast, I could see what I wasn't, and that I got
Mm-hmm.
more committed to who I am because I had to fight for it,
Mm.
because I had to
Yes. Yeah.
work hard to be me, in a world that
Yes,
wanted not
isn't
to
that
be.
interesting? You had to work really hard to be
The
you. So
learning.
now I think
Yeah.
we move into the next point, which is the unconscious contracts,
Yes. Yes.
because you had to work hard to be you. So if you is your sliver of your
Mhm.
of the cosmic mind, your little, like in Jewish terms or Kabbalistic terms, they'll
Mhm.
say your like can't remember the word, like you're one little light of
Oh,
many, many
flame.
light. Yeah, so
Um.
it's like, yeah, so you're one little shard in
Yeah.
your, you carry a piece of
Yeah.
unity consciousness inside
Yeah.
of you. Well, they
Hmm.
don't call it unity consciousness. That's a
Yeah.
modern term. But
Yeah.
unity consciousness is it's a faster dimension than where it divides. So it divides in the fourth. So anything
Mhm.
above the fourth, truly above the fourth, is
Yeah.
unity consciousness. So a lot of
Yeah.
people are understanding that once you are completely out of the third and the fourth, and you are
Yeah.
invisible and have no body and you don't have
Mm.
any individuated mind anymore,
Mhm.
um,
Mm.
then you're out of this division, and you are the one sliver, but you're also completely connected at the same
Yeah.
time. You don't experience any opposition, and you don't experience any division
Mhm.
or
Mhm.
polarity because
With
the
your,
frequency is
yeah.
too fast for that. So
Yeah.
you're in that faster frequency.
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
people are coming to understand that once you enter out of the duality and the polarity
Mhm.
frequency, which
Mhm.
is very low and slow, then all of a sudden, when you're completely out of that, then you
Mhm.
have access to all dimensions
Mhm. Mhm.
because
Mhm.
they're all without duality. They're all non-polarized dimensions. Everything is one. And so
Yeah.
it's really just a matter of a different kind of learning that we're going to have a little bit more understanding of what that is in the coming times.
So would you say the learning
Like we're
is
going to
revealing
understand because the
the
learning is not karmic, right? So we're no longer going to have a hard time. What did you say? I
mm,
have to work hard to learn
to
about
be,
myself or to be
yeah, that
myself.
contrast to fight for it almost, like,
Right. So because we're in a slower dimension, the
mm,
frequency is slow, and we have the opposition, right? So we have something to learn through comparison. And it
mm-hmm,
is a really rough ride. I've
mm-hmm,
experienced it
mm-hmm,
as a very rough ride, but I've really learned a lot, like a lot.
yeah,
Um,
mm-hmm,
and so I understand when people talk about, this is Earth School and we are here to learn, and you can't learn this way anywhere else. And
mm-hmm,
I get it. It's like many people say, you know, when we come back into unity consciousness and we're exited from our physical time on earth and we're only the soul part of ourselves,
Mhm.
that we're applauded for the efforts that we put
Mhm.
in on behalf of unity consciousness, because
Yeah.
everything that we report back is catalogued and everyone learns from that. So we
Mhm.
are like warriors that come down into this very slow frequency, and we have to be born into a slow physical body that takes 20 years to grow into its own autonomy. And in that time, you collect
Have a
your
lot of
mental
opposition.
garment, and that
Yeah.
mental garment is full of unconscious
Mm.
contracts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
That
in
weighs you
psychological
down.
terms, people will call it traumas and
Mm.
learned behaviors, etc.
Familiar.
Spiritually, people will call it sin.
Oh,
If
yeah.
you really understand the origins of the word sin, I think I just was reminded of it this morning on Instagram, where the English word sin
Mm.
comes from the Greek interpretation of the Hebrew, and the
Oh.
Hebrew is to be taken off balance,
Uh-huh.
bit like
Yeah.
off the line of truth. So
Yeah.
if it's not
Out.
on that cosmic line of cosmic unity, which is
Mm.
cosmic love, cosmic truth, the love is unconditional. So it's not divided into judge. There's no
Mhm.
judgment of what's to be loved and what isn't to be loved. In unity consciousness, it's just one thing. It's just love. It's not dependent on context or behavior or
Mhm.
anything.
Mhm. In
And then
yeah.
the truth, the cosmic truth, is uncompromising because also it doesn't have any kind of judgment. So it doesn't involve the human mind, which likes to divide everything up and
Doesn't have an
split
agenda.
hairs. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no agenda, right? So the person that removes all of their um, human mind contracts or
Mhm.
frequency magnets, I call them, because then you can
Mhm.
visualize how it's like attracts like. And if your soul is crying because there's a broken bit, there's an
Mhm.
untruth in your
Mhm.
in
Mhm.
your mental cape, then it's going to be
Mhm.
crying out that that untruth exists, and then it's bringing evidence to you of the same frequency on the outside of you. So through your
Yeah.
eyeballs, you can actually see what's inside of you, so
Mhm.
that you can use
Mhm.
your will
Yeah.
and your understanding and your maturity to come inside, understand where is that lie, look for that lie, and compare it to the cosmic truth, because it's
Mhm.
going to be saying, oh no, I'm true, I'm true, I'm true. The cosmic
Mhm.
truth says, no, this is truth.
Well, it's
And
whispering too.
shine,
It's not as loud.
right,
Yeah.
right. So yeah, so that's the earth method essentially in a nutshell. That's what I'm trying to help people do. I can do it really fast because I do it a lot,
Mhm.
and have done a lot of it, and I've done it in the method of learning a lot of things and through my own experience, and then brought forward what I now call the earth method. Why? Because it works.
Yeah,
Because
it does. Yeah.
it frees your soul, that little sliver of cosmic unity that
Mm.
you have within you, this life force that runs through you. It frees it from that human mental cape that is
Mhm.
broken and crying and
Mhm.
screaming that the truth that it holds is not true. It's not. It might have been, but it's not now. It's not
Yeah.
congruent. It's dissonant frequency in your whole
So
system.
with the example that you used at the start with like working back with what came back into your life in the house, like you only started with the essentials, that's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
how you should look at the contracts. It's like, okay, the core
Mm-hmm.
contracts, I'm alive in this lifetime. I'm
Yeah.
this is my family I was born into. Like these things that
Mm-hmm.
it just is what it is. But then you
Mm-hmm.
have those familial patterns that
Mm-hmm.
your cosmic self is going, you know what? I know you subconsciously react this way, but that doesn't feel aligned anymore. Or you've
Mm-hmm.
got
It's
other
not
priorities.
useful.
It's not
It's not
useful. So you
useful.
have to review the
Yeah,
contract.
that's
Yeah.
right. So to be able to review the contract, you have to first remember how the contract came about. And
Yeah.
this is what people misunderstand, that I don't want to talk about my problems. Why? Because they don't want to be reminded of the emotion that comes with that story. And
Sure.
I understand that. I didn't want to do that much either. My whole entire family didn't tell me anything really about my mother because they didn't want to talk about her. So I totally understand that reaction. I don't want to go there again. I don't want to go there again. And the reason why people stick with that so strongly is because in their experience in the modern world, that's as far as their therapist can take them. They can talk about their stuff, and it's like, remember the clowns that had all the handkerchiefs of different colors that would come out of their mouth like forever, and there's just like a big bundle of them on the floor or whatever in front of them. That's
The
what I
ego.
see going to a modern traditional therapist
Yeah.
that doesn't actually promise you healing. It's like
Mm-hmm.
you'd spend the whole time pulling it out, pulling it out, pulling it out, pulling it out, and then the bell goes bing, and
Yeah.
you have to grab all these handkerchiefs that are attached to you and say, oh,
Yeah.
thank you very much. I'll see you next week.
Stuff
And
it
you go
back in.
outside and you have to shove it all back in to forget
Totally.
about all this emotion that you've had to feel
And
by telling a
probably with a
story.
bottle of pills too, you know,
That's right.
suck
Yeah.
it down with.
If I think if you're lucky, you can
Yeah.
numb yourself. I think that's where the whole, habit of numbing comes from, because if you have to talk about it, you talk about it, you think about it, you feel about it. And if you don't
Yeah.
have the next step, which is to heal it,
Yes.
then you're just in this loop all the time, and
That's a
that's not a
wound.
comfortable thing. It's like poking a
Yeah.
bruise,
Yeah.
remember when you were a kid and
Martin.
you'd have a friend that would poke your arm and then poke in the same spot and poke, and eventually you get a bruise there, right? So it's like hurting yourself. And why do we don't want to hurt ourselves? So we don't want to go into that kind of therapy. And neither did I. I was asked to do that therapy, and my reaction was, I don't want anyone to pay $150 for an hour for me to educate them about my problems.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Because
give
that's
them
all
a
it is. I'm telling them my story and I'm telling them how this is a problem. They have no solutions for me. And traditional therapy helps you manage the problem. And I didn't want to keep the problem to manage it. I want to get rid of the problem. And I
of
really
course.
did believe that the problem can be solved. And so that's where my journey began. So what I discovered is you only have to become conscious of how the contract was very useful and very protective in the first place.
Yeah. And usually
That's
a
all you
child.
really need to understand that.
Yeah.
You need to understand why your mind, the mind of a child, the innocent, naive mind of a child, had to go into protection mode. I mean,
Yeah.
I came to an understanding that my mind blocked me, disassociated all the emotion from my
Yeah.
memories at the age of 3, because that's where my trauma point was.
Yeah.
Because if
Yeah.
I remembered having my mother
Mm.
in a unified consciousness context, that I belonged to her while she didn't have a body, if I remembered that and what that felt like, and then I was living my life without that because of a contract that was made that caused a trauma, by an authority voice implanted a contract, and then
Yeah.
I had to create another contract to go with that situation. If I remembered the absolute purity of unconditional love, I would have died of a broken heart every single day. And I wouldn't have made it through childhood. And I wouldn't have made it through my first half of my adulthood.
That's true. So there are, valid reasons for why that contract was
Mm,
made at the time, and it
yeah.
was a protective measure, but you have to review them. You have to go back and say, is this still
Yes,
true?
that's right.
Yeah.
So you have to acknowledge them
Yes.
and be grateful for them, because they did save
And
you and they got
identify
you
them.
to where you are.
Yeah.
Sometimes we have to make contracts because of the context that we're in. So
Yeah.
I'll use my example as an example because I don't want to talk about other people. So I'll just use me. I'm brave enough to share my shit. So
Yeah.
at 3 years old, my mother died when I was 1. My family stopped talking because they didn't want to it suffered the emotions. They weren't very good at emotionally. They were kind of defunct already. They were traumatized by war and refugee life, etc. So this was a terrible, terrible thing that happened to them in their perception. So my brother was tantruming. They kept telling him to be quiet. He was 3 when our mother died. By the time I was talking and walking, I was indoctrinated to nobody talks about my mother, not even me. I don't talk about my mother. So when I was at kindergarten, that was the first, because Jewish kids often go to kindergarten like 5 days a week, all day from the age of 3.
Oh, okay.
So it's not the same as Australian kindergarten where it's like a few hours, a few afternoons a week.
Yeah.
It's full time, like school. Yeah.
Okay.
And so the kindergarten teachers basically become your parents when you're 3 years old. You're very, very young. And so I was told, like everybody else, go outside and play with your friends. Play with your friends. So I go outside. It's probably not many months into the year. So I was probably 3.5-ish when this happened. And go outside and play with your friends. So I did. And my best friend was my mother. I used to play with her in the sky. So wherever the last place I saw her was there, just above my head, a little to the left. So I used to make her dance in the sky because she would always, I think my brain projected the last image that I had of her, physical image, in front of my face. So that meant as a kid, I could just do this and this.
You made your
and
own
this,
hologram.
and this. And she would be in front of my face. And so
Yeah.
I perceived that as I'm making her dance in the sky. She's, it's like playing a game of catch with your mother. I was always interacting with her. And I didn't feel any separation. I felt complete and utter unity consciousness, belonging to all of that. And when the teacher came over to me in the yard and said with her almost parental authority voice, and I was doing what I was doing, and I heard her say, what are you looking at? Does it look like I'm doing this? And I said, my mum.
Yeah.
But what she actually said was, what are you looking for? When I got the memory back, I got the specifics back. What are you looking for? And I didn't answer the question correctly. I answered, what are you looking at? And she said, what are you looking for? And I said, my mum. And she said, oh, no, darling, your mum's gone. She's not here anymore. And then I was looking at my mum was here. And then I looked at the teacher who was also here, but in the physical, taller than me, obviously. And then she said, your mum's gone. And I went back to look for where my mum was back here. And she had disappeared. And then I had this other stuff that I visualized, an entire misty dome settling down onto the earth plane, and all the humans got really small. And then I realized, oh no, I have to live with my earth family. I have to belong to them. And
So you're
I'd
coming
had
down to earth.
I was coming down to
Literally.
earth. Yeah, literally. And I knew that my earth family were, stacked up very, very high with conditions of belonging. I knew exactly what I had to do. I had to belong. That's why it was traumatic for me, because I had unity consciousness already. I'd had it in completeness for 2 entire years. My mother never had an opportunity to create conditional love.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
I never went through that process.
And
So
also
usually what
language.
happens I had no language about it. Your mother is your first community. She is unity consciousness for you. If you're very unlucky, you'll have conditions right from the get-go. But most people have grown up with unconditionally loving mothers for at least the first 3 months to 6 months of their life, because babies really can't do anything wrong.
Yeah, sure.
Because they don't have agency, they don't have choice, they just are. So you can be frustrated with a baby, but you don't change the way you love them.
Yeah.
Their behavior doesn't alter how you love them. You're still, with them. And then when language comes about and the child starts understanding language, then you're impregnated with contracts that are to do with belonging. So contracts can only exist with language,
Yes.
yeah,
Correct.
because it's information and emotion. And when because there's information and emotion around us all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. And it
Yeah.
doesn't have to be
And
written down. It's just a
no,
energy.
it's
Yeah.
just there, right? So
Yeah.
it means that some of that information has to stick to you because not all of it does. So there's two ways that it gets sticky with you. One is
Yeah.
repetition, which means
Yeah.
brings about acknowledgement by your conscious mind that it repeats so often. I need to integrate it into my automatic mind, which we call the
That
subconscious.
that's a
Just like
generational
learning
trauma.
to drive a car, if you
Yeah.
sit
Yeah.
in that driver's seat, you learn how to turn it on. You learn how to turn the corner. You learn how to go forwards. You learn how to put the blinker on. You learn where to look. Because you do it so many times, your conscious mind says, okay, this is exhausting. Let's automate it. Right? So
Yeah.
that's one way. That's one way we learn. The other way we learn is through a peaking nervous system. So it's either such intense joy or it's such intense fear.
Yeah.
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 Whichever way it comes about, your nervous system peaks. And
Yeah.
when your nervous system is peaking, whatever is happening in your context is recorded and put into the subconscious to be referred to later as like a habit, like an addiction. This happens equals this reaction.
The neural pathway connects
Right.
to
Yes,
that.
it creates a really strong neural pathway.
Mm-hmm.
Just like the habit has to be like the repetition learning has to happen so many times that the neural pathway thickens.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's a
and then it
muscle.
becomes automated.
Mm-hmm.
The same happens with the intensity of
Yeah.
your nervous system. So you have to somehow have your nervous system peaked
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so that the emotion becomes sticky. Your
Yeah.
mind recognizes that that thing that's happening, all this stuff that's happening outside of me, has everything to do with me, and
Yeah.
it takes it in. So when
Oh,
most of your trauma happens because you're in a vulnerable state and there are authority voices around you. And
0 to
I call
30.
them authority voices because they're using language.
Yeah.
So the language that is floating on that wave that gets stuck to you because your nervous system has peaked becomes a very thickened neural pathway very quickly.
Yeah. An
So you
example
can
would
think of
be
it like that.
my mum would say, "Who do you think you are?" And it would always,
So if
be
she said, who do you think you are, and it didn't hit you emotionally, but she said it every single day, that might get sticky. If she didn't say it every single day and it didn't hit you emotionally, it wouldn't have stuck. And if
Yeah,
she
that was
said it at times where you were heightened because you'd been told off,
yeah,
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 you're in trouble, yeah, and it
exactly.
was said with energy into you,
Yeah.
then it gets sticky, right?
And then
So
your
this is
self-worth.
where, if we think of these as contracts,
Okay.
yeah, we have been contracted in a particular environment or occurrence of something like a red flag.
Mm-hmm.
If that is witnessed, consciously witnessed, you
Mm-hmm.
have no other choice but to react in this way.
Mm-hmm.
That's your contract.
Mm-hmm.
So I entered into contract with so the teacher said, your mum's not here anymore. And I
Mm-hmm.
accepted that with her authority voice. And I accepted that contract
Mm-hmm.
that
Mm-hmm.
she was not here anymore, which
Mm-hmm.
then made me feel completely separated. So children learn separation very slowly,
Yeah.
right? From the age of about maybe 2.5, slowly they learn to separate. And I
Yeah.
had to separate in an instant
Yeah.
because my
Yeah.
mother was there. And not just my mother, I mean, unity consciousness was my mother.
Mm-hmm.
That was present, and I was it was me. And then bang, it wasn't there anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
subsequently, I went into another contract, which was to accept the conditions of my earth family, which I knew what they were, the conditions of belonging to them. So I became contracted to them in terms of my need to belong. And these were things that I had to come to understand over time and looking into it deeper and deeper and keep learning and keep discovering. And when I came to a point of discovering that those contracts served a very important purpose, very important, I wouldn't be who I am and how I am and as wise as I currently am to be able to help other people follow the methodology that I worked out because I had these contracts installed in me.
So would you
If
say
I
they're
did,
kind of destined, these contracts? Are they like
well, I believe that
a
certain
soul?
things have been arranged to happen, and so
How you
the
work
story
forward.
is already, it's like the story's already written, and then we slide in to be that character in the story. So yes, my soul, let's say it like this, my soul, my sliver of cosmic self, my
Wanted
little
to experience that.
shard of cosmic light, that I hold inside this system, this body, knew what was going to occur
Yeah.
because it's frequentially set up that way.
Yeah.
I knew that was going to happen to earth me. If I enter into that particular earth me, that's the life I'm going to live. And so when you're born, the name you're given, the family you choose, the time you come in, the place you come, everything is organized by unity consciousness in agreement. Everything is in agreement out there. There's no opposition.
But you always have free will to revoke these contracts. So it's not like
Well, there
that's
are
the whole
some,
process of
there are some contracts you couldn't ever change because you can't change the name that you came in with, but
your birth.
you can change the name that you're using officially, and you can influence with changing a name. You can't change the date of your birth because it's already happened. So they are contracts. You can't change your astrological position of birth because you're not in that time. You can't undo coming in and being born. Yeah. So there's some contracts, no, you can't change them. But the contracts that are organized to come in for the purpose of our learning, so they come in at certain times knowing that we are going to be bound by them and have observable experiences because of them. And all of that can add up if we have enough community assistance and learning, habituated learning of this kind of reflective learning, that when we get to a certain maturity where we've acted with these contracts, or acted through them, we've tried to set goals and achieve goals through them.
Because
And
there's
we
always
get
a
to the
point.
point where we're really frustrated because the thing that we want, we just can't get to it and we don't understand why. That's the turning point. And you become emotionally mature enough along the usual scale of time, which is kind of changing now. Things are happening a lot earlier for people now. But around 35 to 40, you get to this really frustrated place. And if your contracts are really hidden from you or you don't have a lot of support to get to them, you could hit 50 and the pressure is really on, like really on. Yeah. The last years between say 45 and 50 or 44 and 50, they can be hell on wheels for you because you are so aware of how your behavior is coming through these contracts. It's determined by the contracts. And you're watching it, but you can't control yourself. It's compulsive behavior. You start to pick up on all this compulsive behavior. And you really don't want it and you really don't know how to fix it. And it's like elastic band coming right back really tight. And you're about to either self-combust inside or you're going to find your solution. And generally what happens is when you call out to unity consciousness, and you can call it whatever you like. I call it in a descriptive name. Yeah. Cosmic unity consciousness. It is unconditional love. It's uncompromising truth. When you call out to that part of yourself, the rest of you that's out in a faster dimension, because only a small amount can shove into
quantum.
this body. Yeah. When you call out to that part of yourself, many people call it God, and you say, I don't know what to do. Earth me, human mind me has no clue. And I have plenty of evidence that I don't know what I'm doing here. And I
Humility.
desperately need the love, and I desperately need the truth. And I'm brave enough for you to give me both in combination. Yeah,
And
that's
I
what we're
promise
really asking.
to
And
act
I'm
in my
not gonna deny what you give me,
Yes.
right? Because
Yes.
you have enough evidence that what you have lived and what you've seen the patterns going around and around, you know you're going to keep doing it. You have not enough understanding to have influence to change it. Therefore, there's something you don't understand, and you need to ask for it to come to you. And when you ask for that understanding to come to you, it will come to you. Yeah. And it may come to you through people. Yeah.
Yes.
It may come to you through a book. I don't know how it's going to come to you. Whichever way it's meant to come to you, it'll come to you.
Don't
But like I
filter
said
it.
earlier, the opposites attract only for the learning. But we like attracts like for your healing. We've got to write that one down as
Like
a quote.
attracts like. Okay.
Yeah, so just remind me, opposites and like attracts like, and I'll write it. So essentially, all these people that you're learning through in your life, that I've watched you learning through these different relationships in your life, they are there for your learning. They are opposite to you. They're other than you. So that you can work out, I don't want that bit. I don't align with that. And when I try to adhere to that contract, I don't feel very good. I feel not myself. And so
Yeah.
you're starting to work out which bit's you by these opposites. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in terms of your healing is like attracts like. So when you hit that point where you say, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going round and around in circles. I spent so much money. I thought I had the answer. I don't have the answer. I thought the cycle was broken. The cycle's not broken. And I'm too tired to keep going. That was me. I don't have enough energy to keep going like this. I'm running out. And that's when I asked.
Don't
And
admit.
yeah, and for you, you were told, go to Melbourne, go to Melbourne, go to Melbourne. And you were led, and you found your apartment that you lived in, and you went and found the best dog park. And guess
I
who you
did.
met?
It
Yeah.
was. It was.
And
It is.
so and right from the beginning, I mean, we met each other once, and then you turned up again. And we had the conversation that told both of us that it's like attracting like, and there's
Exactly.
purpose in the relationship. And
Yeah.
I mean, we went for coffee, and we ended up on, oh, I'll just walk back with
The
you.
whole
Or
day.
you want to come
Yeah.
in? And then, okay, I'll walk you home, because just we've got to take dog for a walk anyway. And then I would end, and then we'd stay at your place for 2 hours. And then the sun's going down, and I'm like, okay, so this has been a whole day. And
Yeah.
I have to go home because I can't walk in the dark.
Yes.
I've
Yeah.
got to go home now. And so,
Yeah.
well, see you tomorrow then at the park. Sure.
And it
Okay.
repeat.
And
Yeah.
and
We
we kept doing it.
every
We kept
day.
doing it. And then we realized what we're meant to be doing in combination. And to make that happen, I had to be the person that monitored your healing and guided you through your healing, so that you could see, you could feel the alignment, and you had to make that soul self of you come into the physical world. You had to manifest yourself, which meant you had to reconcile a lot of these contracts.
Correct. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Especially with those previous teachings that I had learned.
Yeah, you can't have more than one teacher, because then you're confusing yourself.
Yeah.
You have to work with what's being effective in terms of what you want to achieve. Yeah.
Yes.
And you
Exactly.
wanted to achieve not just knowing yourself, but being yourself. Yeah. So it's like I say, this is your am, And this is, oh, hello, glasses. They're
Yeah,
cute.
I've got too much brightness. So I've just
Too
got
much. Yeah, it's nighttime for you. It's daytime for
yeah.
me. So this is your am, and this is your
Mm-hmm.
B. This has all
Mm-hmm.
the contracts.
Yeah.
But this is how you want to exist in the world because it feels
Yeah.
right.
Yes.
And every time you reconcile a contract, which means you have to understand it from a perspective of gratitude of it having had existed. You're
Yeah.
turning your being around slowly, 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 turning it around. And now it lines up exactly the same. And you can be
Mm-hmm.
your am.
Yes. You're
Yeah.
authentic. Yeah.
Right. And that's what we all want through the middle of our life. This is what is termed the midlife crisis. This is what we want. We get to the point where we've seen the patterns go round and round and round, and we don't know how to deal with them.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
And the
Yeah.
part that we have to step into now is understanding that, well, it hasn't really been available to us as much as it is now, right? So I kind of went early, 20 years early, and I know exactly how to explain it to people, what has to happen, and lead them through the healing. So if you are meant to be able to explain it to someone, I truly believe that you need to do it with instruction, but more autonomously. And yes, it's harder. If you're
But with
meant to
lived
just
experience.
have had it done so that your being gets adjusted to your am,
Yeah.
then just front up, earn the money, sit down in session, have an earth session practitioner, which is me at the moment, but I'm training people slowly, and
Yeah.
sit down with your practitioner and let them guide you through so that you can
Mm.
do that reconciliation process. And that's what it is. It's a reconciling. So
Yeah.
these contracts need to be part of your awareness, your compassion for yourself, and reconciling the discrepancies between the being and the amming. And that's what healing is. Down
Yes.
to tin tacks, that's what your healing is. And so when you go to a modern day therapist, they will ask you really open questions like, tell me about your childhood. And so
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
spend a whole hour telling them about your mother, and they write
Yeah.
down a few notes. And then the next week, tell me about your father now. And so you tell, do you have any siblings? Tell me about those. So you spent 10 weeks telling them about your childhood. And then they might ask you a specific question. You've spent $1,500, no doubt,
Yes.
on and your time explaining things.
Yeah.
So about your life. So you basically could have written a book. I don't work like that because that's just an absolute waste of time. I know exactly what I'm looking for. So I'm going to ask you, and this is where being an empath really helps because
Yeah.
I can read subtle energy. So
Mm-hmm.
I ask you, how can I help you? What's the matter?
Mm-hmm.
How can I
Mm-hmm.
help you
Mm-hmm.
fix it?
What's going on? Yeah.
You tell me what you perceive is the problem. And in that explanation, I'm picking up frequency. I'm
Mm-hmm.
picking up the crying of the
Mm-hmm.
wound that is the contract, right? The contract that's no longer helping, it's hurting, it's splitting your field, it's
Yeah.
agitating and irritating you. I'm picking up the frequency of that coming through
Yeah.
when you tell the story. And then I ask questions and will interrupt the
Mm-hmm.
story. I'll
Mm-hmm.
cut off the
Mm-hmm.
story. And I warn people in the beginning, don't worry if I cut you off. It's just, I didn't need all that. And if I need more,
Yeah.
I'll come back to it. We're just doing it as fast as possible for me
Mm-hmm.
to navigate around and find, I'm looking for the same frequency.
Okay.
Yeah.
To know
So
what is void.
I will ask, you tell me the problem. I'll ask, say, 10 questions in different areas of your life. And I'm listening to how and what you say in each of those areas until I find the same frequency. And then we're traveling down that road.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't need 10 weeks for you to tell me about all these different parts of
Yeah.
your life and then figure it
Yeah.
out and whatever. I just need to hear it again. I need to feel that frequency again. And I'm completely and utterly connected to unity consciousness when I do this
Yeah.
so that I have no judgment. I don't have my own judgments of your story. I never have and I never will,
No.
because having a judgment, bringing it into the fourth dimension,
Yeah.
means that
It's
it's interacting with anything in my fourth dimension, and that's not going to help the process. I'm not here to judge your story, what you have done, what you think, what you believe. All I'm here to do is find the same frequency of the problem, yeah? Because the contract that's no longer a positive thing in your life is crying a frequency, and it's crying it out to the world, and it comes to you on the outside of you as a problem in mimic of that. So you can see the problem. You tell me that problem here, you describe it, and when you describe it, you're describing the frequency of the crying. And so I'm looking for, where is that crying coming from? And when I find it, it's like echolocation, right? I can kind of feel it. Okay, we'll ask more questions down there. And then slowly, slowly, slowly we get to what it is. And I don't tell you what it is.
Yeah.
I don't bring you along. I don't bring you along on this journey that's going on in my head because of the nervous system peaking situation. You need to read my book, Observations of a Healer, to really understand this. So the contract was made with a nervous system peak. Yeah. So the contract needs to be busted wide open with a nervous system peak. That's how the system works. That's the body and the brain and the mind. So if you can if you stick it into yourself with a nervous system peak, you can you basically stick the cosmic truth to yourself in exactly the same place.
It kind of neutralizes it in a way.
It neutralizes the frequency. Yes, it dismisses the incongruent, dissonant frequency.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and it places in unity consciousness right in. It's like your bicycle tire has a hole in it, and you go in and you find where the hole is. You put a big ass patch on it that's 20 times bigger than the hole. Right, so it becomes tire again. Yeah, and you don't have the air coming out. That's kind of a physical imagining of what happens when you apply the unity consciousness, which is unconditional love. I don't care why. I don't care what. I don't care how. You are loved. Bang.
Yeah.
And here's the truth, right? So without the unconditional love, you can't accept the truth because it's too scary. But with unconditional love, no matter what happens, no matter if you cry, you freak out, you scream, doesn't matter. Here's the truth. It's like a patch.
Yeah.
And that's the healing that happens. And so that's the earth method in action. So if you're not meant to be a teacher, you can just read books for pleasure and whatever, but just come with your problem, get it solved, and keep coming when your problems come until all of those contracts are resolved and you have full reconciliation with your cosmic self.
Yeah. And
because that's the goal. That is absolutely the goal. Full reconciliation.
It's all about, we want more souls in humanity to be on this train of reconciliation and cosmic mind, because that is our mission here too, like to be part of this bridge. That's why we call
it's like we want to build a community. We want to be part of a community of souls that are free. Yeah, you want souls in your community that are they're living unity consciousness before we have gone up in our before we have to leave. We want to live in unity consciousness, and you and I we do it within ourselves, but it's a very small community, and we want to grow the community so we can help people become part of that community. We can't expect people to have reconciled to their true unity consciousness self without helping them.
And showing them there's another way. It doesn't have to
because many of the contracts that you have tell you, especially through religion and family alignments, etc., there is only one way to live, and that's with all these contracts. And you can't connect with God. Unity consciousness is a fantasy, blah blah blah. So there's many actors in our world that want to keep us in contract because it's an advantage to them.
This is the opposition.
And so if you're the black sheep you're going to feel that because you're going to feel trapped inside of that.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's really important, because we've got to finish, because it's
Getting
I
on the
think we
hour.
might have actually covered everything
Yeah.
on the list,
Feeling through
really.
challenge. Yeah,
Um,
definitely. This is a good summary. I think that's
Yeah.
enough.
So
What-
really, we just need to make sure that we're not taking our cues of what to do from people who are not black sheep, and people who are black sheep, but they're denying that they're black sheep, and people who are black sheep who haven't done any kind of effective change. So
Exactly.
don't justify you treading water by everyone else treading water. If you
Yes.
want to live in unity consciousness now, you can. You
Yes.
can live with your focus in unity consciousness and not be distracted by these contracts that can only exist because we are living in this dualistic world where the opposition is given an opportunity to exist. But we now have a time that's coming where the amount of space in the frequency band that humanity and the planet together can exist in, and it's shifting up just slowly a little bit, which means you have more opportunity to put your focus into that top band of unity consciousness.
Yeah. And the best
And
way to just to filter who is in and out, like on that line of truth and who's not, observe their life. Like, how do you feel around them? Is there chaos? Is there, this be careful who you listen to. Be really discerning.
and understand that this talk about being triggered, and you're triggering me. This is a very new thing to say. Oh, you're triggering me. The offendable ego is run by the opposition, and it's run through these contracts. So be very mindful that if you want to feel peace in your human form, it means that you must become masterful with your mind. You need to use your free will very wisely and aim for unity consciousness while you're still embodied, because that is the way that you move into the next level.
Correct. Yes. And not
And the earlier you do it, the nicer your life is.
It's heaven on earth, honestly.
That's right.
You don't need anything external. It's all an internal
Mm.
job for sure.
Yeah.
But thank you, Joanna. I think we've covered it
Pleasure.
all. We'll log off for now and upload this for everybody. Remember to like and subscribe, do all the things. We love you, and
Yes.
we'll
Website, WhatsApp, all that stuff. Look in the box underneath for all your information, and don't be frightened to ask questions, because we'll talk about the answers
especially
next
if there's a
week.
contract in your life right now that you didn't see as a contract but is a contract, and you want to talk about
Float,
negotiation.
give us some details, and maybe we can help you. Don't give personal details, because I don't want to say those things. But if you give me enough information, sure, I can run it through this brain of mine that's been educated to think in this particular way, and that's what I do. And I really, over and above earning enough money to live, all I want to do is help people live unity consciousness, and not just dream about it, actually live it every day.
Yep, exactly. Amen.
Love you
It's a
all.
harmony, feeling, and community made for you, of course, by Millennial Force.
Just when I think I couldn't possibly learn anything more new, bam, Joanna Ruth hits my heart. Hey, yeah, or my ego.
Ego CEO?
Ego CEO. There's always more to watch. I've got a bit more time. I'm going to watch the next one in the series. Cool, maybe we can WhatsApp in the group later about it.